Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 23 Live Feed Spoilers. We hope you have all your BB Bucks at the ready here because we have a lot to talk about with that twist,
Yep.
the
Yep.
veto winner, the
Yep.
messiness that follows that up.
There is a lot.
It is a lot. It's a very, very interesting week because I think a lot of it just depends on what certain people want to do. Like there's a very interesting scenario that could come out a little bit later in this week. I don't think it's probably going to, but I think it would be really, really intriguing and it would just throw like a metaphorical grenade right into this house.
All right. Do you want to start with the BB Bucks twist?
All right, let's start throwing the BB Bucks around here. All right.
All
So,
right.
okay, here we go. This twist is too complicated. Can we just start with that? I like the idea of giving us something that's new and different, but now we gotta be like, okay, this person's got this many BB Bucks, which, by the way, nothing is really for sure until we see all this on the show because, we weren't there to watch them being given these
Yeah,
bucks.
everything is sort of word of mouth and stuff like that, and people lie. It's just kind of like we don't know for sure. More will be revealed on the show. But yeah, keeping track of who has what and who has how much. I mean, we did this with Survivor
Yeah.
with the fire tokens, and it did start to get complicated. Luckily, the show did start to actually put at the bottom of
Yeah.
people's confessionals, this is so and so, and Tony has this many fire tokens, that kind of thing. So hopefully, if they're going to keep this twist around and they're not going to use their BB Bucks right away, they will do something similar so we can all just be on the same page.
We're looking at you, Big Brother producers, because this is what you should do.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm concerned about what you will do instead, which is have a 5-minute montage of Alyssa crying over Christian because this is somehow more important to Lost Showmance than having the actual understanding about this twist.
Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. Hopefully, we're not going to get that.
All right, well, okay, here's the bigger things to need to know about this right now is that seemingly,
Yep.
the people who got the most BB Bucks this time around were Derek F, Derek X, Brittany, and and Brittany I think is the most important one because the idea of Brittany getting a lot of money all of a sudden it makes her more dangerous. It makes her more of a threat than before.
I am not surprised that Brittany ended up getting a lot. I'm actually not surprised by any of these
No.
people getting what they got. I mean, we saw the comments here you guys have been leaving. We asked you who you threw your BB Bucks
Yeah.
at. I saw so many Derek X's. It was like crazy. Like he should be swimming in BB Bucks. But I saw a lot of Brittany's as well. And Brittany, especially because she's just so unpredictable, and this season has been trucking along pretty
Yeah.
predictable. I'm not saying it's a bad season, I'm just saying that there's been a lot of weeks where it's like, oh, Travis is going, Frenchie is going, Brent is going, Whitney's going, and now we're starting to get into the part where it's getting a little more murky and a little more fun and
Yeah.
a little more who could it be kind of thing. And Brittany is somebody where it's like, oh, she's been on the block a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
We know that she's had a hard time being on the block a whole bunch of times. Let's give her some power and see what happens.
I think that's probably the case.
Right?
That is
That is
clearly,
all of us, the BB
that is-
fans, being like, let's give Brittany the money.
that is definitely the case. Here's what I really want to know. Who is going bwahaha over giving Derek F all this money? Do I blame the casuals for this?
No, I think that it's the same with Derek F, because Derek F has said some strange things to sort of stir the pot a little bit here and there. He's also someone that is a little unpredictable. You don't always know exactly what he's going to say, what he's going to reveal, sort of what pot he's going to stir. So I'm not surprised as well that he ended up getting a bunch of bucks.
Derek F is that person in this house who, I'm not a fan of much of his game. I'm not a fan of at least like half of his opinions about how much he wants the women out or anything, but like every now and then he'll just say something that's like really, really stupidly funny. And I think maybe that's a part of this, but we'll go at least from this point of the BB Bucks to get into veto players because it ties into once again, the messiness of the BB Bucks.
But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are here all the time talking about Big Brother live feed spoilers. And if you don't want to miss them, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining and being a part of this, and for joining our Instagram at Matt and Jess TV, because we've got some fun stuff over there, including donuts, because who doesn't like donuts?
Yeah, Matt got these like crazy donuts that I did not get to have any because I have celiac disease, and these are like the real deal donuts. They had some fruity pebbles on them.
Listen,
No, they were like gourmet donuts. They're just actually were cool to look at, and they are over at our Instagram.
I'll have a quick 30-second aside here, in that when I was a Beauty and the Geek, Fruity Pebbles was like one of the only cereals that they had in the house, so I ate it all the time. But because of this, like, one of my really, really great friends, Jason, who's been on the channel a few times with us, like, he thinks that Fruity Pebbles are like my favorite cereal. And when I went to see him, his mom had like gotten like all these Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, Mrs. Prager.
I know. I was
so sweet.
She is so sweet. And it's like I've become like the Fruity Pebbles guy, even though it's like they're good. They were good on the donut.
Okay, I was gonna say, you are by yourself now, and you chose out of all those donuts, and you read some of the donuts that were on this list, and you still chose the Fruity Pebbles.
It looked cool, but okay, all right. Enough of donuts. We'll talk about the veto player.
Okay, Claire, Kylan, Derek F, Brittany, Alyssa, Azza. That's who played.
Yeah. So we go from here to then the betting scenario, where here's I guess a little bit of how this works. If you put forward the BB Bucks, because apparently a second veto is sort of the thing at stake this week, and there's other powers that I'm guessing that will be revealed later on. We've already heard some of those on the show.
Yeah.
But you could place your bet on who would win this veto, and if that person wins the veto, you also get a veto yourself. You get a second veto, and then that gives you an opportunity to make this week even crazier.
Yep.
Okay, I'm about to make a reference that really no one other than us will get, but I'm making it anyway.
Right.
There's this old movie called Rat Race that has John Cleese in it and a lot of other people.
I love that.
Yeah, we love this movie. Nobody else has ever seen this movie, but we love this movie. And John Cleese's character, it's really satirical of just like rich society. He's like getting all these like millionaires to bet on people doing really stupid things all the time. It's like that's what this reminds me of like these players having to bet on people winning this veto, because like what if one of them throws it? What if one of them just completely just like gets egg on their face, and then you look really bad and dumb for betting that way?
That happens. Happens in everything.
This is why I'm not a betting person. But anyway, okay. Here's what we know about this. Kylan bet on Alyssa to win. Derek F bet on Brittany to win. Claire bet on Kylan to win. Sarah Beth bet on Azza to win. And my question first and foremost is, Sarah Beth, why aren't you betting on any of this? You're not going on the block this week.
I know. But the person who won the veto is Alyssa.
Yeah, she finally won a competition this week. She had her whole the helmet is unfair nonsense last week. I guess.
Okay, and she can take a seat now. She's got the veto.
Yes.
And that means also that Kylan has a second veto.
So that's where things are right now. And okay, so here's the order of supposedly how things are going to work here. Kylan, if he wants to play his second veto, he has to play it first. And I'm guessing that the whole reasoning here is they want to make sure that, because Alyssa's like the actual veto winner, that her veto is more important and that she can sort of course correct whatever Kylan chooses to do.
Yes.
Kylan plans on saving Claire, who was originally supposedly his target here, and he now is looking at Brittany as the bigger threat. I'm guessing a part of this is, here for all you Brittany fans who decided to give Brittany all those BB Bucks, it's kind of coming back to bite you now.
Yeah, I mean, Brittany is not a bad choice. Claire is a good player, but she hasn't done a lot to be like, oh, she's a massive threat at this point. But Brittany has been on the block a couple times, and she's been really upset about it, and she's a bit unpredictable. And in a game like this, having someone that's unpredictable can be worse than just sort of knowing who your enemies are, knowing who your targets are, and knowing that they are coming after you or not. That is a little bit easier to work with than Brittany, where it's kind of like, who knows what she's going to do? Also, she's sitting on all these BB Bucks. So now it's extra who knows.
I think if you are Kylan in this position. And, but by the way, I think Kylan winning this HOH, I think he's put a pretty big target on his back to at least be one of the first people from the cookout to leave down the road. But if his objective here is I want to keep the cookout together as long as possible, getting rid of Brittany, who Azah has seemingly wanted to almost throw her game away for on a number of occasions in the past, it makes more sense than getting rid of Claire, because I don't see anybody in the cookout throwing their game away for Claire.
It is a tough spot that he's in, because yes, getting rid of Brittany because she is close to Azah is a very smart move. You got to split that up.
Yeah.
However, it also is a risk because Azah is close to Brittany and she has been protecting Brittany, and now Azah's going to be pissed off at Kylan for this, and that could be the fracture.
Yeah, there's potential for a lot of fractures here still moving forward, depending on how Kylan plays this. And he already tried to extend a little bit of an olive branch to Derek F and be sort of like, okay, here's what could happen here. I can use my veto on Claire, then you can have a veto used on you. We can have it be Azah versus Brittany if you want to just do that and be off the block for the next few days.
Yeah.
He wasn't into that. He said no, he didn't want Azah. Good on you for just, looking after Azah here, Derek F, and sitting on the block for a little while. I'm sure that'll be fine for you.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Derek F is in a good spot. They're not going to send him out. He's part of a giant alliance. So for him to then not have Azah go up and then to be able to say, listen, this is what Kylan was thinking, because the Jokers are a very tight crew right now, the three of them. So putting himself out there and staying on the block to make sure Azah's okay means that Azah will owe him, or at the very least he's showing loyalty to her to be like, don't worry, I got this time. Maybe you can get me down the road.
It's time to become evil. We're 12 minutes into this video. We have talked about all the likely scenarios of what is going to happen here. Alyssa, I know I do not possess the ability to inception anything into your brain. We could really benefit. Well, I don't know if we would like the result of this, but if there was really going to be chaos this week, like real legitimate chaos, here's what would need to happen. Kylan uses his veto on Claire. Brittany goes up. Alyssa then decides, you know what? I want to use my veto on Brittany now. I don't want Kylan to get what he wants. Because if this happens, Kylan's in a position where he's not going to put up another cookout member, presumably, and ruin that alliance.
Maybe it might be the time.
Yeah, like that's
because his options are Derek X, who, he might put up, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And Sarah Beth, who he's not putting up.
Yeah, and so, but if you're ultimately one of those two, like if you're Derek X at this point and you're going on the block, maybe it would be like I am a big threat. He's just, he's trying to do to me what I did to Christian. Maybe that's what he'd think. Or maybe he'd be like, I thought we were really close. What's going on here? Why is he not putting up all these other people in the house? Or maybe like Alyssa or someone else would start to figure it out. Like I think that a couple of people are close to kind of sussing out what's going on here. I don't have enough like actual real evidence to present all of this, but other than that, I just think these people aren't dumb.
I think that there is the possibility for some chaos there. Also, we are getting closer to the point that the cookout can start to take out some of their own members. Like, it is a very big alliance. If there is somebody in the cookout that is starting to drift away from the cookout, and we do know that there are two people, Azah, my winner pick, please don't send her home, and Derek F, that they are close to Brittany, and they have been sort of drifting away, and there has been sort of some arguments that have been going on. Could it be a time for Kylan to take out someone in the cookout that is drifting away from them to tighten up the group?
I think Azah would probably
no!
be... I don't want this. I'm just saying I think she'd probably be a very likely person. Because listen, if I was Kylan, I was thinking...
I know she's the right person because she is so close to Brittany, but no.
Is. But here's the thing though. If I was Kylan, that's okay. I'm not getting rid of Azah. You can breathe easy here. But I would put up Tiffany. because Tiffany is the more likely person to win the game. Like Tiffany is like one of the biggest threats and the best players in the house.
It's not time for her yet.
I know, that's the problem.
It's way too early
It's
to
like-
come after Tiffany.
Even if you put up Tiffany right now and then theoretically be Tiffany versus Derek F, like I think Derek F probably gets evicted in that situation anyway.
No, it's way too early to come after Tiffany, and Kylan doesn't have any problem with Tiffany, so they're fine.
Okay, well this is where things are right now. I don't have a lot of confidence in Alyssa's ability to be completely and utterly chaotic this week, so Brittany's probably being evicted, but it's fun to think about, everyone.
Yes, it is.
All right, but we'll close everything off here, but what do you think about this BB Bucks twist right now? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Are you just thinking more, okay, I care more about what's going to happen with the later twists down the road. That's fine, but all right, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and we will see you here next time.